the science.
Suffice it that the blood of 1,000 men and women was spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken, eyes gouged from bloody sockets, flesh burned black.
Please. No way to dead. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes. What you haven't realized is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is Monday, December 3rd, 2007.
And welcome, one and all, to another exciting edition of World of the Unexplained. Tonight, we will take you deep into the belly of the evil that lurks in the world. I'm sorry, that was just bad. Wow.
That was your worst Vincent Price impression?
Yeah, probably. This is Jay Scott.
And this is Chuck Browder coming at you.
And tonight we're Trentless.
That's a good way to describe it.
Trentless in Kville.
Trentless and Kville, yeah. Trentless and Guestless, too. So it'll be fun if you guys want to stick around and listen to our rantings and ravings.
Call in.
877-722-7382 or locally 336-996-1596. That number again, 877-SCARE-YOU-2. Did you hear that Mr. Imus is back on the radio?
Yes, I did, actually. And he has two new counterparts on his on-air show.
Really? Who's that?
Actually, I believe it's two African Americans he has on his panel there.
Oh, my God.
And it's the same producer. I'm beginning to think, actually, the reason why they brought them on was to say stuff that Don Imus wouldn't be able to say.
That's awful. That's really bad.
Well, don't you think that might be the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Savage is going to be on Larry King tonight.
That's a rare appearance for him.
But
you don't see him on cable news.
Well, not anymore. Not after the whole Fox fiasco. But Larry King is not going to be doing the interview. It's some other person, some lady, I think. I don't remember who. And I know why Larry King, they'll probably say, well, Larry King is out, due to this or whatever. Larry King won't put him on the show, I'm sure, because of all the stuff Michael Savage says about Larry King. Dried up has-been, I think, is one of the quotes he's used
Well,
before.
that's something that all his colleagues over at CNN say about him, too. They're all just vultures there waiting for him to kick the bucket, man, or retire so they can move in on his spot.
Of course, he's like Johnny Carson, man. They're waiting.
All these guys like Anderson Cooper over there.
Oh, gosh, yeah. They're waiting for
it.
Yeah,
they're just waiting for him to drop.
Yeah. They're like, come on, Larry, die. Just die. They want him to kick the bucket so they can jump in there. That's awful. I mean, I think Larry King's a decent interviewer.
Even over at Fox News, they give Larry King his props, for having been around as long as he had. I just watched the 50-year retrospective on Larry King, and they had some great personalities on that, man.
Well, he's interviewed everybody that's ever been anybody,
Mm-hmm.
except us.
Well,
I'm waiting for that.
They even brought on our buddy Ross Perot, man.
Really?
And I have to say that he looked pretty good, man. It was a recent interview. And he looked like he really hadn't aged really more than a day or two.
No, he's always on there with the newsmakers. I know he had even had Chris Angel on there recently.
Really?
Yeah. Really? And that was a unique interview.
I'm trying to remember. There was some Anna Nicole Smith, I think, that was on there.
Oh yeah, he's done that.
Yeah, he did that a number of times.
But I read a book of his years ago when I first started in radio. It was called How to Interview Anybody or something like that. And I've got it around somewhere in trade paperback, but it was it was a pretty good book, and he talks about how he started in radio, and he talked about in the 50s being on the air and like looking through I believe it was the 50s that he said, it may have been the 60s, but he's probably old enough to have been on in the 50s, But he was talking about how, like, he would look out through the glass at the radio station, and see the people going by and stuff. I guess this is back in the day when they did that.
Yeah, before it was in a
Yeah.
dark room and a skyscraper.
Yeah, I mean, well, most radio stations nowadays, even your bigger stations, a lot of them are, the size of broom closets.
Well, yeah, I can think of actually a few of the
Like
affiliates here locally that are in tiny.
Oh yeah, I mean the smaller
studios.
spaces than what we're in too.
Well, on 92.3 FM here, I know they're the Bain Heating and Air Studio, as they call it, because they have a sponsor for it.
Oh my God,
that's a tiny little studio here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and that's a huge station, huge listenership.
Oh, the terribly crazy listenership. I wonder have you seen what WTQR's is?
No, I haven't.
Because they're pretty big.
Really?
Oh yeah, man, it's the biggest country station around here. It's been around since I was a kid.
I'd be interested to see
104.1.
because I've never been down there to collect on my bling, but 102 Jams, how large their studio is, because they're a huge station.
Oh
here
yeah, they're if things strike me correctly, I believe that 102 is actually a not part of the bigger Clear Channel conglomerate.
It's not Clear Channel, but
that.
it's one of the other bigger media conglomerates.
Oh, it is? Okay, I thought it was on its
I
own.
think it's actually out of New York is where they're headquartered.
Huh.
Their parent company.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought they were on their own though. I didn't know.
No. Actually, 92.3 is a smaller one. They're Dick Broadcasting, and I think they're regional.
Huh. That's interesting. What's a 101.1 WZTK?
The talk radio station? Is that the one you're referring
FM talk.
to?
Yeah, it's 100,000 watts of power. You can hear that thing all over the state.
And you can probably hear it in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Well, I don't know about Knoxville. I don't know if it goes that far, but I know that I was picking it up in Virginia last time I went up to Rocky Mountains.
I believe that, actually, because we get Virginia stations down here, too.
I pick it up here, and then I drove all the way to Raleigh and picked it up there. I mean, picked it up in Louisville. It's all over the state. They brag about it too.
I'm sure.
Got 100,000 watts, man. We got Ron Paul Hunter.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going? How's Raleigh treating you?
It's treating me pretty good. A lot of exciting things going on in Raleigh. They were like, you know what? I used to broadcast too. I don't know if I know the listening audience probably didn't know that, but I've talked to you guys about that. I used to do WKIX, WKXU, that huge country station.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like their night monitor guy. I would actually sit in the back and listen to Art Bell while the computer did its thing.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
That's awful. That's awful.
Well, it's the truth, man.
Were y'all using Prophet?
I don't really remember the software. It was right when the LED screens came out is when I was doing it. And
oh, wow.
They started up. There was another revelation. I don't want to get in too much trouble, but they started up this other station. I won't get its call letters, but it was like 1,000 watts just inside the city limits. And I was really excited because they were starting a new radio station. I was going to see it all happen.
Uh-huh.
The big day came. Show up these two brown boxes with no labels on them. They had like 1,000 CDs in each box, no labels on the CDs. All some guy did, the manager of the station, quote unquote, some middle-level manager guy came in and just put CD after CD after CD into a computer, and then they left it there. And I think one night I came in and I accidentally took it down. I took the station down, but I pressed a couple buttons like the emergency broadcasting. And the guy comes screaming in out of nowhere. He's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I was just sitting there twiddling my thumbs or whatever. He's like, "It's off the air. It's off the air." It was like 1,000-watt station, but it was his station, so he was freaking out. And I was like, "Oh boy, maybe it's this button here." And I was like, I pressed the button. I think it went back on the air. He's like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I didn't know. I pressed the button." He's like, "Don't press the button."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Raleigh's got a pretty good state. Y'all can pick up 101 out there, can't you?
Oh yeah, we pick up a little bit of everything. Raleigh's got pretty good transmission. It's like it's in a level spot of the state, I think.
Well, not only that, I mean, you got a ton of talk radio programming out there, because I used to commute over there a couple times a week, and I remember listening to a lot of talk radio on my commute over there. And you guys have definitely got a lot of it going on. I guess
every day. I mean, I try to listen to the AM 750 with St. Augustine's College is right here in Raleigh. It's one of the two predominantly or traditionally black schools, and they run.
Imus.
Show. Well, they run the Warren Ballantyne show, Al Sharpton, and then the 2 Live.
Oh my
So
God! Somebody actually runs Al Sharpton's show.
Unfortunately,
Al Sharpton has got one of the best on-air presences that I've heard. He has a great way of getting people to call into his show that, even though it's the general public, they always have something of a high quality to say. You know, I keep sitting there, and I was telling people this, because I actually got through and talked to his executive producer for a while, and I was telling him I hear a lot of angry people, and when you hear angry people on the radio, you expect the next thing you hear to be either them getting cut off or something stupid, you know, something that just doesn't make any sense. But people that call into his show are angry, and they call in, but they make sense. Like, they actually have thought through, and they have a point to make. So I think it's very entertaining, and it also covers American history. Anything that's not being televised, believe me, it's American history, man. It's every bit as important as everything else. There used to be people that, you know, before the word basically got around, you could never, ever make money in history. Then people stopped getting majors in history. But I think it's still something that you should do in your spare time. You know, there's a lot of history out there.
well, it's unfortunate actually that Sharpton has made a career as of late riding the coattails of famous people. Actually, it's not even as of late. He's made a career of it for a very long time.
You missed something fundamental about this. It's a big movement to make sure that the Constitution is actually a valid document. That's what the whole thing's really all about. You can say it's about equality or about civil, you know, I say it's civil rights version 3.0, but there's a lot of things.
I mean, there's Al Sharpton. All Al Sharpton does, though, from what I see, is become a stick to stir up the trouble.
No, you're right. He's a very divisive
Yeah,
influence
I mean, it's like if
icon in politics in the United States.
If people like Al Sharpton, if there's nothing that's racial going on or nothing that's that could be,
he'll generate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Without him fighting the good fight, quote.
Well, look at it this way, Jay.
He wouldn't have a job.
How many people actually go out and assemble? How many people go out and do anything in this world and get people to actually get together and do something where you aren't heading for the door 5 minutes later and going to do something else? America was built on some basic things: agriculture and assembly. Assembly means getting together and sitting down and talking about what we as a group of people are going to do together. We don't do that much anymore. So, you can say it's all racial this, it's racial that.
It is.
I say they're U.S. citizens, a predominantly large group of which happen to be black, are going forward and trying to move forward on predominant issues, and that everybody should be thinking about doing something. You can go out and protest. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's trying to get your point across and say you're a political presence and you should be taken seriously.
The paramount problem with what he does, though, is that he doesn't have an intellectually honest debate and discourse. It's all completely loaded.
Yeah.
Well, every time it goes on the air, it's like jungle fighting, man. Everybody's got their point to make. They're pulling out their AKs and M16s and blasting away at point blank range. The problem is, as far as I see it, the problem is that it wasn't the march and the things surrounding this new movement, or it's actually a bill. It's a proposed bill, I think, going before Congress to get a new civil rights bill in place that would cover all the bases. And I don't have a real problem with that.
Well, what's this new civil rights bill cover?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's got to be on his website. Maybe we should check it out.
I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it.
Or on Wednesday night. You got a political show on Wednesday night, right?
Yeah. But right now we don't have a guest tonight, so we're just kind of taking it at random.
Right now, you're the guest, Ron.
That's right.
Hey, I can unload on you guys.
You already have been.
Well, here's my plan. I've got plans. My plan is to kill commercial Christmas. Here's my plan.
Oh my God! Why would you want to? Why would you want to kill commercial Christmas?
Commercial Christmas is bad. It's making a mockery of our attempt to worship Jesus. So here's what I think: is you take the gift giving part of Christmas. You shift it to Thanksgiving. You give your big gift on Thanksgiving. And then during the year, you try to get between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you get with your church congregation, and you go, what I'd like to see is to have a federal participatory civil defense program, and you would try to do as much Christian meeting, which means going to worship services, and do like 4 hours of charity a night where you would be producing things. And you would give the things to all the school children so that every month, every kid in school would get a different civil defense-based toy, but it wouldn't be a toy. It'd be a piece of equipment like a canteen, or like I'm even saying
That'll make them real happy.
You're gonna give a kid a canteen?
Well, look, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
It's a toy. The thing is, if you have, and remember, I talk a lot about national survivability issues. So
No, I know.
What I'm saying is, when I go to do this, when I'm talking about this sort of thing, it's that I've thought it through. Is that if you have a survivability problem where you know people are having to evacuate, or for whatever reason, it could be Godzilla, it could be anything, but whatever makes you flee and run for your life, at that point, all people have to be equal. So having the same 12 set of toys would make all the kids equal if they all had to run for their lives. Do you see what I mean? It's like that's the kind of tricks you got to build into something like this, because Americans are blind and stupid and would plunge into desperation in a split second. I mean, that's what I really think sometimes about the public, because
so you're wanting to make all the
anything.
You're wanting to make all the kids the same, though. I mean, it sounds a little socialistic, maybe, or communistic, don't you think?
Wait, what does it say in our Constitution? Something about everyone being created equal?
Well,
we're all created equal. That doesn't mean we all get equal access.
Well, it also sounds like a hefty entitlement program as well.
Frisbee, a canteen, maybe something to weave with, a planting stick.
I'll give the kid a football, man.
Exactly.
I mean, unless he's got a toy to put those double D cells in, you know.
I like to play ultimate frisbee. It's non-contact and it's very tough. It's all sprinting, man. I think it's a great sport.
That is
have one.
Very active.
Give it a shot.
Very active sport.
Actually, I go by my alma mater and I see all the hippies out there playing ultimate frisbee,
they are
running around with a cigarette, you know, hanging out of their mouths.
Are you working for the P-Touch company? Have you got a label making business on the side? Why have you got to label people hippies just because they're playing frisbee?
No, dude, Chuck is a hippie. Trust me.
Oh,
he's the ultimate.
I love me some ultimate frisbee, man.
Well, we should.
And I do actually get accused of being a hippie now and then as well.
He does, all the time.
It's okay to be a hippie, but you don't automatically label people something just because they've got a frisbee in there.
Well, I mean, ultimate frisbee and hippies kind of go hand in hand.
It's one of the most
nothing wrong with that
games I've ever played in my life, and people can humiliate you in seconds just by sprinting away, or you can watch a frisbee fly by, man.
It's a nasty game, man. It really can be. I mean, and it's full contact.
Well, it's not supposed to be.
I mean,
non-contact.
I guess the way we used to play.
It's the zone of you're not supposed to be any closer than 10 inches away from somebody. But yeah, you're right. People do happen to bounce off.
There's was it Isaac Newton's 3 laws of physics? There, one of them's inertia.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't call that in a lot of professional sports either. Football's another one where inertia. No, that's not your fault.
Getting back to this Thanksgiving thing, right? The whole point is that during the holidays, you make them back into holy days, and you actually go to church. You get your Christmas on at Thanksgiving, and then between then, you remember St. Nicholas was a guy who gave gifts to poor people. You get together and you try to give gifts to all the kids like they're poor people. You tell them and you play it out. You can play out St. Nicholas if you want.
Well,
you don't have a promise. Wait a minute. You don't have a problem with Santa Claus, do you?
Well, yeah. Santa Claus and you're talking about St. Nicholas was the poor guy who lived in a cabin somewhere and made little gifts for kids and who were orphans, I think.
He was Russian Orthodox, I believe, as well.
I've got the whole story, and I'll look it up. But what I'm saying is, yeah, the commercial Santa Claus, I got a big problem with that. It's basically pissing on Jesus' manger, something.
I'm right there with you, Ron. I definitely am.
I have to disagree with both of you guys on that. It's Santa Claus, man.
I don't want to ban him though. I have a perfect. I have a perfect example of it, man. And it's been. I do these Christmas concerts every year, man. And it's been so long since I've received a program. I decided to pick one up this last Sunday, and I looked at it as I was waiting to go on, and it said on the front of it, "Winter Concert." Winter concert. It had no mention of Christmas. In fact, there was no. I looked
pagans,
around.
Man.
There was no Christmas iconography, and it really does have to do with the PC.
Christmas worship, United Methodist to the Hill thing. I've got to get up in there and actually get to church because well, here's something else we did at our church. I go to Westover United Methodist in Raleigh. We had Stop Hunger Now came in, and it's like we've got a 40 by 60 room, a really small room. That's where they have all the eating tables and the Methodist men meet. And they set up all these tables, and they brought in this crane, and there was like a youth group that joined us with like 40 people. And in 2 hours, we did 25,963 meals or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty impressive. It goes fast, man. It's very easy to do, and the bags have a 15-year shelf life. It's stophungernow.org. You've had him on before as a guest, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you can, I believe.
We need to get up with him. Actually, we'll get that number from you before we before the break, we'll get D on the phone with you, get that number if that's okay. We'd love to have him back for the political
another
show.
one is that I was wanting to talk about, but I didn't get through before, is that, and you need to look this up, is like one laptop per child, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's till the end of the year, where you spend $400 to $500. You get this really rugged, basic Linux super laptop that's made for education, and they link together automatically. They do all this stuff automatically, but they're also going to send one to a poor kid in another country, and he'll have basically a wireless network capable.
Well, why don't they send it to a kid in this country?
Well, you can give the other one to a kid. That's basically what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to.
Oh, but everyone's keeping them, aren't they?
Well, you can get more than one, man. Especially if you're a highly paid lawyer.
No, what happens? I mean, you buy one and they give them both to you?
Well, no, the idea is you purchase one for your own child.
Yeah.
And the second one that's purchased with that money goes to a child in the
So they don't
third
let you
world.
purchase, they don't give you both of them, though.
No, they only give you
that's
one
a
of
good
them.
thing.
They
That's
only
a good
give you
thing.
one of them.
Well, I'm with Scott. Why don't they allow you to give it to a poor child here?
That's an interesting point. Why? And I'm not sure. Probably poverty in the U.S. is covered in it. I'd have to go back and look at some of the other documentaries I've seen on it. But it's a very cool concept. And actually, as of late, I think Sony and Microsoft have both gotten on board with it, because originally they wanted to exploit it and make money off of it in the third world.
Yeah, totally. Well, see, like, my idea is to seize them. In the first place, as far as Microsoft is concerned, Windows needs to be a permanent public version of Windows that's super stable, like the Windows XP or something.
Well, XP Service Pack 2 is actually a pretty
Windows
decent one.
USA, and just be like free to the public, because the government's bought like a jillion copies of Windows by now. I mean, don't they get a permanent public version of it or something?
No, I mean, they can buy licenses for it.
Well, it's like buying an 8-track tape, and now you can't prove you got the 8-track tape, but technically you still own the rights to it. How does that work? I mean, because you lose the box, do you lose the rights? It's like saying, if we lose the Constitution, do we lose the country?
I mean, I defend Bill Gates' right to capitalism, but at the same time, I think he's gone a little overboard.
Well, I do think that antitrust suit was unconstitutional, unfair towards him and his corporation.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like Windows, you can always buy them out.
Well, it's free enterprise. It's a free market. You're integrating stuff in your operating system that to cut out the third-party middleman. I think it was fair game.
Ron?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like he had such a distinct advantage because it was such a unique tool, and he, had all the tools lined up in the right place at the right time, so he took off. It's like the first guys to really exploit oil and then move into plastics probably had distinctive advantages. There's all kinds of technological changes that give people distinct advantages. That's one of those weird, quirky things. And, I think he's basically out of the business. But like the one laptop per child thing, theoretically, like you could have not the technical circuit board part, but you could leave that in kit form and have kids in either high school or maybe down as far as middle school sort of manufacture those, at the school and get some kind of benefit from it. Like if you get everybody that could participate even during the school day for all the time from middle school on up to high school, then you say you get a free year of college, which would cost a lot of money, but it's one of those, make people equal and give them time together to talk about life.
Congratulations, Ron. You're a Democrat.
Well, whatever. Call him like you see him. I'm just saying that
free handouts for all, free education, free laptops.
Well, if you listen to old Mike Huckabee, he sounds a little like an entitlement hog too.
Riddle me this then, dog. How much water is up there where you guys are at? In Goldsboro, Greensboro?
Greensboro. We don't have a lot.
No, there has been
I'm talking like 60 days and it runs out.
I think we have a little bit.
60 days.
Yeah, I think we have a little more than that here, but not that much.
Well, that's not a situation to be ducking and weaving on the civil defense. It should be civil defense equals yes. Otherwise, you're eventually.
Oh no, I'm not talking about civil
moron,
defense.
Man, I'm just warning you up front.
I'm not talking about civil defense. I'm talking about just free education. Free education for everybody. You were talking about free education in college for everybody. Free Windows. Free.
To that, well, my free education concept only really extends to something called a civil defense minor.
Okay, well,
I've got a civil defense minor already built in. Well, I'm ready to have developed. I guess to finish developing it and to institutionalize it, but to put it into the public college system, so that people can go and get this civil defense minor and learn some kind of civil defense skill and then get together in their county of residence and practice it. and then produce a 20-man team. If you assemble one 20-man team,
It sounds like the military, though, Ron. I mean,
it's like civil defense, man. It's like protecting the country from national disaster. If you get one 20-man team per county, you get like 60,000 guys.
why don't? I mean, this sounds like something that the government should back then.
No kidding. That's who I was trying to pitch it to. I went to Elizabeth Dole's office. They sat down. And
she won't listen to anyone.
Really?
She's one of the worst representatives in the Senate.
No, thank God she wasn't actually there. It was her deputy director, Reggie Holly is the guy's name. And he's sitting there. He sits there and listens to me. And I tell him everything that I've got on my mind. I mean, literally everything. And he sits there and listens to me. He says, okay, there's an office that evaluates this stuff in the Senate, and we'll send it over to the office and see what they say. And if there's anything that they're going to say, they'll get back in touch with you. And I was like, I've been in the National Guard and stuff, and I was a FEMA inspector. When the dude who represents the senator says that, that's it. So I was like, okay, I'm out of here. So I just walk out, and I went back and talked to him one or two more times to see if they had heard anything. And, of course, they hadn't. So, it's like, what can you do? And then I go to call the RAND Corporation. I sent a flyer to Columbia University, never heard from them, from their Office of Public Development of National Civil Emergency Procedures or something. I call the RAND Corporation. They transfer me around a lot. I finally get to the department that deals with developing a civil defense plan. Guy picks up the phone. I swear to God, he had to be from Saudi Arabia. He's got the thick Saudi Arabian accent. I'm like, oh, that's spectacular. Oh, God.
Oh.
Cut me off.
All right, night, Ron.
Anyway, the Saudi Arabian guy was in the RAND Corporation working on developing our civil defense plan, so I didn't think that was such a great thing.
All right, well, Ron, no problem, Ron. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. Hang on the line with D. He's going to get some info from you. You're listening to World of the Unexplained. We'll be back in a little bit after this. And we're back, World of the Unexplained. Sorry about the lengthy break.
Had a few loose ends to tie up here.
About as lengthy as Al Sharpton's speeches.
I liked him back in 2004. I thought he was probably one of the best speakers in the Democratic primary that time around.
Really?
Yeah. He's a great orator, man. The problem is he just doesn't have much on specifics when you get down to it. No real answers on I don't know, the actual logistics of carrying out any of the things he proposes. And I think that probably stems from the fact he's never held office of, well, to my knowledge, of any kind. He was never a mayor, congressman, senator.
Have you seen the new icebreakers?
What, mints?
The packs, yeah, the mint packs. They look like drugs. That's what the police say in Harrisburg,
I'm looking at them right now. They do kind of
look like little baggies of crack. Yeah. It says the police in Harrisburg say they look nearly identical to the tiny heat-sealed bags used to sell illegal powder drugs like crack, heroin, and cocaine and glorify the drug trade, a Philadelphia police official said.
What are they being marketed as? That's the key right there.
They're breath packs, man.
What's their name?
The icebreakers.
Icebreakers.
Packs.
It's the, I got you.
PACS.
PACS?
That's right, yeah. Oh, man.
Trying to contemporize it.
That's it. No, man, that ain't no Coke. It's my packs. I can hear that one now. Oh, man. Okay, yeah. We'll grab that. Anyway, 877-SCARE-U2, 877-722-7382, or locally 336-996-1596. Bring us your thoughts. Bring us your anything. We're here to listen to you. Talk bad about you and hang up on you. or maybe we'll agree with you. I don't know.
We rarely hang up on anyone.
That's true. We have done it before, but it is
once or twice.
It's a rarity. I need to be more mean. So, you don't like Kris Kringle there? What?
No, I mean I don't really have a problem with it, per se. But I do think that Christmas has become a very I don't know, market driven, commercial event, and it just so happens it comes at the end of the fourth quarter. What is it, the end of the fiscal year? I don't know if it's the end of the fiscal year, But it comes at a time where at the end of the year where companies, businesses can unload a lot of product, and it does seem fairly contrived to me. And I'd have to check on it, but was Jesus actually born in December? I think he was actually born somewhere during the summer solstice, was he not?
I really don't know.
But I have a feeling that was changed as well.
Good old Catholics, man. Give them the props. Got to convert the masses, man. Keep them celebrating at the same times of the year. It's good.
But it just may be a Western construct that we celebrate it on December 25th.
I've noticed here that a Dublin beer bandit raids the Guinness factory. He stole 450 kegs from the Guinness brewery.
That's a lot of kegs. I wonder how he got away with them. He must have had an 18-wheeler parked out front.
No, apparently he hitched his truck to a fully loaded trailer that was getting ready to deliver to the pub.
So he didn't have to move any of it himself.
Oh, no, man. He just hooked it up.
For
Each keg holds about 88 British-sized pints, which is about 22 ounces each pint.
Oh, wow.
So let's see here. It wasn't just Guinness that was on there. There's 180 kegs of Guinness, 180 kegs of a Budweiser, which was manufactured there by the Guinness company in that country, and 90 kegs of a Danish beer called Carlsberg.
That's interesting, actually, that Budweiser and Guinness are manufactured there on the same site.
Yeah, it is. Because Budweiser's just a terrible beer, and Guinness is good.
Well, it's not terrible. I enjoy drinking it at any sporting event. I'll definitely drink a Budweiser over a Michelob or a MGD. I guess
Real
that is
man
Michelob.
of genius. Chuck Browder, we salute you. The Chuck Monster.
Actually, I think that's an ingenious ad campaign too. I think it plays very well on radio.
Oh, it's great, man. Some of my favorite commercials. I mean, because some of the stuff that you get there is just...
We salute you, Mr. Hot Dog Vendor. Mr. Hot Dog Vendor!
God, they're great. They're great. Marketing genius there. It's kind of like that, what is it, Head On and Active On.
That's just annoying. I think that's just repetition,
Yeah, but you remember it. You remember it. I mean, it's really bad.
It's certainly not as creative as like a Geico lizard, though.
Yeah, the Geico lizard does. Or
those Neanderthals they turned into a caveman show.
Oh yeah, or even the what's it got called, the Noid from Domino's? You remember that?
Oh, that was an awesome icon and ad campaign.
You know what happened?
They were sued by a guy whose last name was Noid, and there was an out-of-court settlement over it.
Oh my God!
Said it was destroying his life.
Oh, come on, give me a break.
He was probably like a public school teacher or something. All the kids.
Avoid the
Noid. It destroyed my life, man.
Don't sign up for the Noids class. All right, here we go. A Wisconsin Girl Scout receives a coveted award. Just a little late, though. 69 years late, apparently. The Golden Eaglet. I didn't know they had that.
I don't think she was any longer a Girl Scout, Scott.
No, she failed to receive this award because she woke up with mumps. And apparently she's 86 now. She joined the Girl Scouts in 1938 and earned all the badges. But the morning that she was to leave for the Girl Scout camp, she woke up with mumps. And attending the camp was apparently the final thing you had to do to get the award.
So the National Girl Scouts Association rectified the situation? Is that what you're telling me?
69 years later, yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Once she was no longer a Girl Scout, I guess a woman Scout?
You're always like a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout. It's never the man Scouts. I don't know why. But
I know. There are guys that are 18, 20 years old with getting their Eagle Scouts, and they're still Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I know. Well, the good thing is it's not the gay Scouts. We have the Supreme Court to thank for that. Nope, not the gay Scouts.
But as a result of that, I don't believe they can use public land to organize on.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I don't know about that, but I just think it's a good thing.
There are the ramifications from that ruling. So.
See, it goes back to what I argue every time. It's not equal rights that these people want. It's special rights. See what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Well, like I said before, okay. Gay men have the same rights to marry that straight men do. They can marry a woman.
An incredibly flawed argument. It's a good one-liner. It really is. But it's an incredibly flawed argument.
Flawed.
It is.
No, it's not. How?
because you're just disavowing civil liberties for people who are unlike yourself.
Fortunately, gender so far is not recognized.
It's not gender; it's sexual orientation.
I mean,
you're
that's
getting that
what
wrong.
Excuse me, gender is. You know what
Lawyer.
I mean? Yeah, no joke. Ding ding. Yeah, but, these transgenders. No,
and I do think that there are legitimate issues actually with transgenders. As far as not granting them the rights that you would at someone of the opposite sex, that becomes a very hairy situation as well.
Yeah, but I mean, fortunately, sexuality is not a protected class, and I think when you push toward that,
it's not yet. I think
it will be.
I think it
because
eventually will
we're
be
just
as well.
a bunch of liberals.
I think it's equitable in the end.
Why?
Because it extends the same rights to them that we have.
It doesn't extend any rights to them. We're giving them special rights because they're different.
Look, I think it could be. I do think it could be abused. Don't get me wrong.
This is. Let me draw the analogy to the same stuff that's going on right now with the hate crimes. You're going to charge somebody harsher and give them a longer sentence because they supposedly did something out of hate toward a particular race, toward a particular type of lifestyle or activity. Why is that? A felony is still a felony. An assault is still an assault. A killing is still a killing.
No, and I agree with you. I think that to tack that on just diminishes the heinousness of the original crime. I'm right there with you on that.
But you want the gays to get married.
I just think we should extend the same civil liberties to homosexuals that heterosexuals have.
Oh, well, they do have the same rights.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, I think it's a tripe argument.
It's not a tripe argument.
It's a catchy one-liner, but it's intellectually dishonest.
It's not intellectually dishonest.
It is.
It's not. They have the same exact rights that I do and you do.
Yeah, if
they choose to exercise
if they
those
choose
rights,
to live as a heterosexual.
If they choose to exercise those rights and marry a woman, by God,
and
they
you'd
can't.
probably be the
gay
first
man.
one to prosecute them when they have extramarital affairs with somebody of the same sex.
Of course I would.
Yeah. Intellectually dishonest.
It's not intellectually dishonest. When people choose a lifestyle.
When they choose it, eh?
Yeah, when they choose it.
Okay.
When they choose it. It's choice, man. Read your Bible.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Oh, here we go. Here's something. A driver passes test, then hits building. Oh, couldn't find it.
And there's no link to it.
No link. There was.
That's
I need to
CBS
hit
for you.
the more.
Sumner Redstone. Ugh.
Apparently I'm not doing... Oh, D is pointing out the error of my ways. Nope. Wow. It is CBS. Yep.
That's what they get for firing Dan Rather and hiring Katie Couric.
God, that was awful, wasn't it?
Well,
Dan Rather, courage.
He didn't help. He didn't help himself out too much there at the end, and it's terrible that he's going to go down. Jennings died several months before that.
Yeah,
maybe it was
good,
after that.
All the good old school guys.
Well,
are out of
and
there.
the what's his name, Brokaw. He's retired, and it looks like he's probably going to be the one that's regarded of that generation of
you're probably right.
broadcasters, the great one. And I'm not real down with it. He's the Midwesterner too, and everyone says that people with Midwestern accents make the greatest broadcasters.
Oh yeah, that's the thing going around. Yeah.
But I'm not a big Brokaw fan. I think he's also the one that loves the Greatest Generation. You and him would probably get along pretty well.
The Greatest Generation. What are you talking about?
The World War II generation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you love them, I'm sure.
Yeah. 1950s America. Gotta love.
You don't resent it as a Gen Xer, man?
Why? Why would
they regard themselves as the greatest generation?
No, I think they probably were. I wish I could have been a part of it. Yeah. I'm a 1950s kind of guy, Chuck. Hadn't noticed.
I know.
Me and Bill O'Reilly, we get along.
I'm not even sure Bill O'Reilly is a 1950s kind of guy.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe 1970s.
No, Michael Savage is a 1950s kind of guy.
That's possible. He's pretty primitive.
Oh man! Ouch. Yeah, see, they it's like liberals. They revert to name calling when things. Yeah.
And Ann Coulter doesn't.
All right, taunting thieves steal 16 tons of ham in Australia. 16 metric tons of ham. I don't even know what that is.
A metric ton? Is that 1,000 pounds?
That sounds
in fact, that
right,
pounds
yeah.
in metrics, I'm not even sure. Aren't pounds a standard measurement?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like 1.2.
I don't even know.
Something like that.
If anyone knows, please give us a call at 877-722-7382, option number 2, and
Option number 2.
Isn't that option number 2?
It is option 2.
Just helping you out there.
I need to fix that.
But let us know how many pounds are in a metric ton, just so we have some idea how much ham we're talking about here.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of baloney.
That is. Wait, cat with jar on head survives sticky situation.
Yeah, I see these videos every couple months of an animal, running around. They've stuck their head in some sort of container, obviously trying to get food out of it. And
peanut butter jar.
Stuck in it, man.
19 days, man.
I'm surprised that it survived. That's a long time to go without food and water.
Unless the jar was full.
It could have rained. It could have rained.
Oh, somebody's going to let us know
how many metric tons.
That's awesome.
Someone smarter than us.
It's 1,000 kilograms.
It's 1,000 kilograms.
How many pounds?
No, I think you're pretty right.
God. Oh my God.
We need standard here. That's the unit of measurement we use in the United States.
Yeah.
The one we're all the most familiar with. You start throwing metrics around with us, and we have no idea. I mean,
that's right. What, D?
How many? I mean, I know 100 kilometers is roughly 60 miles an hour, but that's only because that's on my speedometer.
Yeah.
It's there for easy reference.
Well, it's there so they don't have to retool the car when they sell it on another market.
That's true. Kind of cheap, isn't it?
Well, at least I'm learning my metric for that day that when we're supposed to convert over, they always talked about.
They started talking about that when I was in like 3rd grade.
I remember hearing it when I was a child.
And they made us learn it, man. We had a little metric book that we learned.
Well, and
I was in private school.
I was in public school for
us.
a number of years, and they attempted to teach us that as well.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, even by the time the 90s rolled around, I heard a number of them saying, that's a pipe dream. That'll never happen.
And it really was.
And it didn't.
Yeah. Like, we ain't changing,
I think the Europeans just did it to screw with us.
Man accused of displaying stolen trees in yard with original sales tags. This happened in Montana. A man named Klaus, this time of the year, might land on your naughty list. Okay, thanks for the, yeah. Let's see here. Michael Allard, 39, accused of stealing Christmas trees and wreaths from the Montana Wreaths and Pink Grizzly Christmas store several blocks from his home. He was arrested and charged with felony burglary and misdemeanor theft.
I wonder what he was planning on doing. I mean, you think he was going to resell them, or you think it was just a Christmas prank? Because if so, 39 years old is pretty old.
Pretty old for a prank. I didn't know it was wrong.
Honest, mister, I was just trying to screw with him.
Yeah, well, we should give the guy the benefit of the doubt, right? We'll give him a canteen for Christmas. There you go, Ron.
Some D-cell batteries.
Kids with canteens for Christmas. My God, man. Oh, Lord.
What did you get, Timmy? I got a compass.
Exactly. I want the compass. I got the canteen. I got the water purification system, man.
Hey, don't knock that.
Oh my God. You got one, Chuck?
I did have one on my boat for a number of years.
Survivalist Chuck.
But after drinking lake water, which I think had some gasoline in it, I stopped using it.
Ooh. Oh, man. Have you ever siphoned gasoline out of an automobile before?
No, I haven't, but I can't imagine it. It would turn out too well.
I did once. I put a tube in the car.
You got gasoline in your mouth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, spit it out. But, I mean, I was actually draining the gas tank in order for them to... Okay. We've got to take a break, guys. We're coming back with a guest.
That's right.
Dwight, I can't read the last name there, D. What? We'll ask him how to pronounce it. Dwight's coming up with us. He's the owner of a strip club called Minxx in Vegas. We'll be back here, World of the Unexplained, on this strange night tonight in just a little bit after this.
All right, and we're back here for the second half of World of the Unexplained.
Second half.
That's right. You can give us a call here at 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-YOU-2. Option number 2.
Option scare you 2, option 2. Oh, man. Anyway. Oh, man. I tell you what, I should just run for president.
You?
Yeah.
Run for president?
Yep.
You'd be like that poor guy in Asheville that can't even get on the ballot here in North Carolina.
So, yeah, thank you for your confidence, Chuck. I appreciate it.
I'm just saying it's a tough road to hoe. There's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of palm greasing, a lot of schmoozing that goes into running for office, especially the highest office in the land.
Yeah. Well, I could do it, man. I can be president. Yeah. I think you can beat up Mike Tyson.
You think I could beat up Mike Tyson?
I think you could, yeah.
I got a glass jaw, man. He'd have me down in 2 seconds. I'd be biting both my ears off.
You never know. Okay, 1 metric ton equals 2,204.62262 pounds.
See, I didn't think it was an even amount.
Yeah, it's something weird, man.
I didn't think it would
Those Brits, man, they're crazy.
They intentionally did that.
Okay, who do we got? We got Dwight Schwarnelmud.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dwight, how you doing?
Fantastic. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. Welcome to World of the Unexplained. How's it going?
Fantastic.
What? Now you're the owner of Minxx.
Yes, Minxx Gentlemen's Club, located in fabulous Las Vegas.
Oh man! So when I come down to Las Vegas, I'm gonna have to take a trip over to Minxx.
Yeah, I'll pick you up, limo, style you up, take care of your VIP service for sure.
Hey,
oh, sweet.
There we go. Chuck's coming with me.
I do love the vacation out there, but I have to say, about 72 hours into it, that's about all I can take.
Yes. It's not built for the meager.
No.
Now, how long have you guys been in business out there?
We opened last year, October 2006, and we've been in business ever since, and we were rated top 3 strip club in Las Vegas.
Wow. That takes a lot. They do some crazy stuff in Vegas.
Of course. This place is marketed as Sin City for a reason, gentlemen.
I bet it is.
I'm envisioning something like Cirque du Soleil meets Tattletales or something.
Exactly.
No. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Dwight, but prostitution is legal in the state of Nevada, but not legal inside the city limits of Las Vegas. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. It's actually on a per-county basis. We're located in Clark County, and if you go to Pahrump County, which is under 120,000 people, prostitution is legal. So in Clark County, which is where Vegas is, it's actually not legal, but I'm not here to say it is. It doesn't, or it does go on in city limits, but you never know what you can get into in Las Vegas.
I'm sure it goes on during city limits. You always see these cops episodes where they're dressed up like sheiks. It's
exactly.
Like, ding, ding, hey, it's a white guy dressed up like a sheik. Hey, maybe this is a cop bust.
Or if you look in the escort section in their yellow pages, man, it's longer than my arm, man.
Exactly. Escorts, you could drive down Tropicana Avenue, and you'll see everything under the sun, gentlemen.
I bet. So now tell me about the Ethan Dettenmeyer is shooting a television series there.
Yes, we're Minxx is actually owned by me and my partner Rob Sessner, and we've been involved in this project for 3 years. And what we did is we started using Ethan Dettenmeyer about 2 years ago in the process of putting of how to open up a strip club in Las Vegas. So from construction, we bought this piece of property. We ended up demoing it. They let me drive the jaws of death, and we crushed the building and did all this humorous stuff, and we filmed it. And we pretty much kind of made it kind of like a reality. We're basing it on a reality show of opening a strip club in Las Vegas and the ongoing things that, finding the girls, just the ongoing things of running a business of this caliber in Las Vegas.
Now, is this the first strip club that you've ever bought?
Yes, we ended up buying the deal outright, and actually, me and my partner, we actually took this company public. So we are in the process of getting all our ducks in a row in the public, raising capital through the public market, and our ticker symbol right now is WRII. We're called the Waste Recovery.
Very cool.
We're in the process of doing a name change, so that'll be included in the reality TV show series as well.
So your stock code is WRII? We can go search that?
Yeah, it's a penny stock. It's less than a penny, so even the starving college students could actually buy it.
Very cool.
And share it.
Chuck's going to buy some.
Get in on the
tonight.
bottom. I may have to.
Exactly.
Well, we know of if anything is actually profitable, we know it would be a strip
Sex,
bar.
yeah.
Sex sells.
It is a recession-proof business, believe it or not. When people are depressed, they go get drunk, and they always want girls. So it's pretty recession-proof.
Wow. So now, what season are you guys in as far as the TV thing goes? Is this the first season that you're still filming, or has that been done?
No, actually, we've got all the up to 80 hours of footage, and so we are in the process of compiling that together and getting it digitized for a pilot right now. So if all goes well, within the next 2 weeks, we should be signed, sealed, and delivered probably for a 22-episode season.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're not sure if we're going to do it ongoing. It's going to be pretty much of a trial and error process, see exactly what we can get involved with, see what, if they decide to create storylines with a couple of our entertainers, managers, our employees that actually work there. So it's going to be interesting to see how it develops.
Now, how does this thing work? Let's say I'm a hot blonde girl with large breasts. How does that?
Couldn't be any further from the truth.
Yeah, no. Let's say a young woman comes in and she wants to be a Minxx girl. What is this process? I know in some of the bars here in the South, what they do is they end up paying to work basically, and then they keep the money from what they get.
That's exactly it. They're actually considered independent contractors. They're not actually employees of our business. They pretty much make their own hours. They're not set to come in, and so they pay the house to work, kind of like renting space.
It's a little like pay to play, sort of like they do out in LA at the clubs, Whiskey A Go Go.
Exactly. So it was similar, but they end up paying you, and they could come and go as they please. So if they work 4 hours after they pay you, let's just say $100, they can pretty much leave after 4 hours.
Oh, so it's kind of like being a barber or a hairstylist.
Exactly. But you know what? They don't work 7 days a week because usually guys come in there, open up their wallets, they take what they need for the month, and then they leave, and then we see them next week or next month.
Next payday. Now, what does a lap dance cost at your fine establishment?
It's $20. You get 3 songs for $100, and our VIP works $250 for a half an hour, $500 for an hour. So
$500 for an hour.
Yeah, and you should see these guys just come in, open up their wallets. We've had guys that come in and spend $10,000 in a night.
You are kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. And so you can imagine if I was these gentlemen, I would be very upset for what I would get for $10,000.
Yeah, no joke. No, what, is the beer like $10 a piece too?
You know what? Our beers are actually reasonable. They're $7. It's pretty much a standard Vegas price. What we try not to do is gouge you. Our mixed drinks stem from $8 to $12. So it's all comparable in Vegas. Like you can go to a competing nightclub, just a nightclub, and pay $12 a beer.
Good gosh. Well, yeah, I mean,
it takes money to have fun in Vegas.
Now, are you guys located right on the Strip out there?
We're just south of the Palm, so we're not actually technically on the Strip because they pretty much frown on having these business that close to the Strip club or the hotels, but we're close enough that it's literally a 5-minute limo ride or a taxi ride.
That's not too bad at all. I remember when I stayed there, well, the first half of the stay.
Minxx?
No, I don't remember that. This was a little before their time there, but yeah, I mean, easily it was $20-$30, man, to get from our hotel down to the Strip each time, man. That was each way.
Wow.
Yeah, if you guys haven't been to Vegas lately, it's a phenomenal city. They are just they can't build casinos, hotel condos fast enough in this town. They've got this large project, the City Center, which is being developed right next to the Bellagio, in between the Bellagio and New York. And it's huge. It's some $4 billion project. And then they've got another one slated to break ground within the next year, a Stations Casino project of $8 billion.
Well, Las Vegas is most definitely one of the fastest growing markets in the U.S.
Of course. It's year in, year out. People just come to this place and just spend their reserve capital and just have a good time doing it. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we don't broadcast in Vegas. We don't have an affiliate there, but we do have one in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's probably the closest one we have to you, KWSS.
Well, the Grand Canyon isn't all that far from Vegas, too. That's a big tourist attraction for people going out there as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hoover Dam.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple spots that you could actually hit that people enjoy going to that is less than a day trip away to go visit.
So now, what time do you guys open your doors there?
We're 5 p.m. To when the last customer leaves. So as long as there's a need for beers and strippers, we're going to stay open.
Wow. That is Vegas for you, huh?
Exactly.
So there's no cutoff times on the alcohol?
No, it's 24/7 in this town.
Wow.
At any given part of the day, you'll see drunk people wandering the streets. It's fantastic.
Oh, man. So what kind of plans do you have for a kickoff finale for the show?
Well,
or I guess you've already done it.
Well, actually, not really. We're pretty much fine-tuning it right now. We just, like I said, within the next 2 weeks, you'll probably see this being developed. The writers are on strike in L.A., so they're pretty much hard-pressing us to move as quickly as possible. So you'll probably start seeing things within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Minxx Live, whatever they decide to call the show. Dwight and Rob's Funhouse.
Now, you guys have had a number of celebrities come through that club, haven't you?
Yes, we are. We've had numerous celebrities. We're probably most famous for the strip club shooting in Las Vegas with Adam Pac-Man Jones.
That's right. Now suspended from the NFL.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it's my understanding he wounded one of the bouncers that was employed there.
Well, he personally didn't do it. As far as I could say, because it's still an ongoing case, he just recently pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge to assist us in dictating exactly who the shooter was. So we're waiting to see exactly what the information that he actually delivers to the DA out here.
So did you see the actual incident?
Do you see the incident?
Yes.
You mean the shooting?
Well, not the shooting. The making it rain, where he threw $80,000 onto the runway.
No, you see, that was he didn't throw $80,000. That's definitely a rumor.
I gotcha.
So he didn't. He only threw $4,000.
No, only 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he made it rain with $4,000. But there was numerous. Like I said, it was definitely interesting to see the amount of dollar bills that were located on the floor throughout the night. I'm not even lying. I've never been to fall in back east, but I'm assuming when the leaves fall, you can kick the leaves. It's about a foot deep of kicking around leaves.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly how our club was with dollar bills.
So he had $4,000 in dollar bills?
Yeah, but he wasn't the only guy throwing $4,000 dollar bills. What I'm saying, there was probably, at any given time, $30,000 to $40,000 on the floor.
Oh, wow. Okay, I can see how that was confused then. Because originally what I had heard is that they had brought in a garbage bag full of $80,000 and made it rain with that.
What it was $80,000 was picked up from the floor at that given time, but it wasn't his money.
I gotcha.
Good.
That's just crazy.
We'll have to buy some stock.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it does sound like we'll have to buy some stock in your company there.
I guess nobody ran out of $1 bills that night.
Well, the funny thing is how many times we'd go to the casinos and get change for it, and we couldn't hold that many dollar bills. The amount of us calling the banks to make sure that we were carefully funded that weekend was crazy. So,
oh my gosh!
Because imagine $80,000 of loose $1 bills.
I can't imagine it. I don't think I've ever seen that volume of currency.
Yeah, it looks like a large. And when I say garbage, it was garbage bags. It wasn't a single garbage bag. Bags.
Oh my gosh! Dollar bills.
Dollar bills.
Even if they were 20s, it would be a massive amount of bills.
Of course.
I mean, I could only imagine. I mean, but ones.
Well, that's interesting to find out too that Pac-Man only threw about 4,000 in the air, man. I guess he's not as spendthrifty as I thought.
There, that night, Nelly was there. There was numerous other football players that were there. Jermaine Dupri was there. Like our place is definitely upscale and high class. And there was an unfortunate incident that happened, but like I said, the amount of stars that we've had that have come into our place has been a lot, from Ultimate Fighters to professional football players to actors. We've got our high list of celebrities that frequent our place. So.
And any of the guys from Motley Crue?
Of course.
I knew it.
Of course. They ended up hooking me up for backstage passes in Arizona and my partner in Vancouver.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, you can imagine these guys like going to these places.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing's wrong with that. It's all about girls, girls, girls.
The new Wayne Newtons of Las Vegas.
the future Wayne Newtons of Las Vegas, yes. Mick Mars is definitely up there, though, already.
Oh, man.
So I just saw a nasty rumor here. Our producer had just written down. Were you formerly, I guess, a UFC fighter?
Actually, I was a sparring partner.
I gotcha. Okay.
I've been a sparring partner to some of the highest level Ultimate Fighters.
How about Chuck Liddell or Tito Ortiz? You ever sparred with either of them?
Yeah, Tito Ortiz. I used to spar with Tito Ortiz. I used to spar with Quentin Rampage Jackson. I've never been. Chuck Liddell was in Northern California. I helped Tito prepare for Chuck Liddell's fight, but I've never sparred with Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, he's pretty nasty, too. How about Ken Shamrock? Do you know him, or you ever sparred with him?
Nope, I've met him. He's a very, very nice guy. He's probably one of the fighters. He doesn't have a big head. He'll shake your hand. He's very down to earth and very cool.
No, he seems like it. I've never seen a guy take a beating like Ken Shamrock. I mean, before
the guy's got a jaw.
Yeah, definitely. Before they had all the rules with all the safety equipment and the gloves and everything, I saw Shamrock go up against Ortiz for, I think it was a 3-round fight, and which I think was really unheard of at the time. And the guy's head swelled about twice the size it normally was. And I have to say, I've never seen somebody take a beating like that and walk away from it.
Of course, I'm pretty familiar exactly with the fight you're talking about, and he did take a beating. And Tito Ortiz is actually definitely one of the better ones of how hard work, and dedication. He's definitely one of the premier fighters, and it's due to the fact that he's a very disciplined fighter, and he takes his job very seriously. So it's when he put a wall thing on Ken Shamrock is because he put it to the limits. He trained tough, and it showed.
No, it definitely does. He and Liddell actually do seem like they're the hot contenders right now in the UFC.
Well, the thing is, Liddell, I actually like Liddell because he's so laid back. He's just like, and the guy could open up a can of whoop-ass in about 2 seconds.
He reminds me a little of the, like a real-world version of Steve Austin or something,
Yeah.
He could really hurt you, though.
Exactly. Rather than open up a beer and drink it on stage.
Yeah.
Well, Dwight, thanks for being our guest tonight. If you want a final word about Minxx, shout it out.
Minxx Gentlemen's Club. It's the third best strip club located in Las Vegas, soon to be number 1. Buy our stock. Help us get there. So, gentlemen, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dwight. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And that was Dwight, whose last name I cannot pronounce. I'll leave the D. But yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff there.
No, very interesting stuff, man. It was very cool to get to talk to him about the whole Pac-Man Jones incident, man.
$80,000.
I wonder if the fight that.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I wonder if he helped him with the fight with Tito Ortiz and him. If he's the one, if that was the fight that Tito Ortiz won against
Shamrock.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was a title bout, actually.
I still wouldn't want to be his sparring partner.
No, not even if you're just playing around with him.
His playing around probably get pretty rough.
No, you probably get hurt. I know I'd get hurt at some point, man.
Oh, yeah.
It probably wouldn't take
All
long either.
Well, guys,
90 seconds.
You're listening to The World of the Unexplained. We're going to be back here. We're going to take our last break of the night. I promise it will not be 15 excruciating minutes. Just hang on and give us a call, 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2. Or locally, 336-996-1596. You're listening to World of the Unexplained, and we'll be right back after this.
All right, and we're back here for the last segment of World of the Unexplained. If you'd like to give us a call here, you can at 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-U2.
That's right. That's a free call. Any of you people can pick up the phone and just dial on in.
That's right.
That's it.
Unless you're in Mexico, according to Jay Scott here.
Open lines. Yeah, no Mexico. No Mexico. I don't, honestly, I don't think it is toll-free in Mexico.
No, you're probably right about it. It probably is North America, excluding south of the Rio Grande.
No, they're trying to make it all one anyway.
No, I saw actually about a month ago there was some grilling on that because the .gov site's up.
Yeah, I know.
For the plan on it.
That's scary.
And I saw a little bit of coverage on that.
Yeah, there goes the Constitution, boys. Say goodbye to the Constitution after they do that.
That should be interesting because I know a lot of politicians are going back on the whole NAFTA agreement, saying it was bad politics, bad
business,
a bad agreement that we made back in the early '90s.
And now we're getting it handed to us. Congratulations.
You can hear that what Ross Perot said. A giant sucking sound headed south.
That's it. Score for the Democrats.
I don't think it's a score for anyone, man, to be honest with you.
I don't think the Democrats are real Americans.
Well, to be honest with you, the guy who made a lot of the inroads and with Hispanics was Karl Rove and George Bush.
Yeah, well.
And you can see in their proposed. I guess some call it amnesty, some call it
I call it amnesty. It is amnesty. Come on, give me a break. It makes me so mad to see that they want to just open this thing up. But yet they want to punish the people who've tried to get here legally, who spent the money, who spent the time, who've waited. And then they want to just open it up. That's not fair.
Well, no, it's not just the Democrats, is my point. You got
no. You're right. You're right. There's
Karl
also
Rove and George Bush had
some backward Republicans that supported it.
Well, had a very very comprehensive plan to try
destroy America.
To try and co-op Hispanic voters into their base
because they're afraid the Democrats are going to get.
Well, I think that was part of it, and they did make pretty strong inroads
because the Democrats are giving out free stuff.
Well, the Republicans made very strong inroads, and I think that the immigration reform bill that I may be wrong, but I think Bush, or the Bush White House, and Teddy Kennedy kind of got together on it, as well as bringing in John McCain to help bolster it.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think about you've heard about this, I'm sure, and if you haven't, stop me, but the letter that was supposedly the memo sent from Mike Easley's office, the governor of North Carolina.
Concerning what? It was an open letter? Is that what?
No, concerning access to community college for illegal aliens.
No, I hadn't heard about it. Is it?
It's basically, some people are saying it's a mandate for community colleges to accept illegal aliens into the community college system.
Oh, so they currently aren't? Is that the policy?
Apparently some weren't, yeah, because you couldn't undocumented illegal foreigners.
Well, to be honest with you, as long as they're not getting in-state tuition for it, I'm all for it. Why not?
Well, I think that was part of the issue too. But
because I honestly don't think somebody that lives in Virginia or somebody coming back from Iraq should have to pay full tuition when an illegal immigrant is receiving in-state tuition fees for going to these courses. I know that's the case out in California. I think it's also the case even in Texas.
Well, I just think that it's just they argue and say, well, they get to come here and they were maybe 3-4 years old when they got here, and they were educated for free in American schools, and then the next thing they can't go to college because they're illegal, and that's just wrong. That's what they say. It's wrong.
Well, I mean, I don't think you should be doing background checks on everyone going to community college, or just checking up on their INS status. I don't think that's the place at community college.
It's a business, so they're going to continue to accept people and enroll people.
Oh, right.
But I still think it's something that shouldn't be allowed.
Well, they shouldn't be allowed here, period, if you're, of an illegal status. But I don't know. I'm not sure that it's the place for law enforcement, our hospitals, our public education system to be, keeping tabs on these people. Shouldn't INS be doing that?
Yeah, but it's not INS, it's ICE now. But no, they're not doing it. They don't care.
Know. And the law enforcement at the local level has no jurisdiction to do anything about this.
I think they should.
Well, then the argument is that you force illegal immigrants underground, and you'll have just a lot more going on, a lot more crime. They'll be potential victims of crime as well. I believe it's Hispanics are. It's some ungodly number times, like I don't know, 10, 20, 30 times more likely to be robbed in a violent assault. And I think it's because most people know they don't have their money sitting in a Charles Schwab or Wachovia account. They're carrying around on their person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with that. But, I mean, at the same time, I mean, they know that they're here illegally. They know that these are some of the disadvantages that come with being illegal.
I know, but at the same time, I don't think that the local jurisdiction should really be the one dealing with it. I also don't believe they should be granting amnesty in a lot of cases, such as up in Virginia Beach, where that was at one time an amnesty city, as I believe was New York at one time or another. It may still be, for all I know. You probably keep up with this stuff better than I do.
Well, I'm sure New York's still an amnesty city. I think that there are a lot of cities out there that are. Mainly, they're the blue states.
But this is an instance where I actually do believe the federal government has jurisdiction over this and should be doing something about it.
What would you propose that they do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you throw some money at INS, actually get some agents there, have some that can work either with local law enforcement or can do the job of enforcing these laws that local law enforcement can't do. I mean, does that not sound like a reasonable suggestion?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I don't think that you should put it all on the local law enforcement, local hospitals, like I said, public schools to keep tabs on these people. That's not their job. Now, they've already got a full plate, each one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just passing the buck back on to the taxpayer, which is us, the legal.
I don't know. At the same time, can you really expect your community colleges, your local police department, or any of these other civil servants to do the job that INS should be doing in the first place?
Well, let me tell you what happens. Let me give you a prime example of what happens in our criminal justice system here. Now, supposedly, if you commit any kind of crime, and this would include a DWI, in some states they will deport you if you're an illegal.
They'll actually deport you back to your host country?
In some states, yes. Now, here in North Carolina, from my experience with the legal system, it seems that it doesn't really matter. The problem is it just perpetuates an ongoing system of lawlessness because you get people that can't get a legal driver's license. And what are they going to do? Well, they got to get to work, so they drive anyway.
And they drive uninsured because you don't have to give proof of insurance in order to obtain the driver. No, and I agree with you on that 100%.
So then what happens is they get caught by the police with no driver's license, and they get a ticket. And then they don't show up for court. Or they do show up for court, and they're like, don't drive anymore.
Well, and because there's no documentation, local law enforcement has no idea that they're even here illegally or what their immigration status is. It's out of their hands.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's just one big problem.
It's a huge bureaucracy, and like I said, I think the federal government should be picking up their end of the slack on this and really institute some real guidelines for enforcement. From the INS, and if that takes actually hiring more agents to field out, to get out there in the field to actually enforce our laws, so be it.
But I mean, I think America's at a point where we don't need any more immigrants at this point in time, unless they're going to be giving something to our economy.
Well, I don't know.
We don't want your poor and
that sounds
anymore,
a tad bigoted there.
It probably is.
But no, I think
God for free speech.
America can always use new immigrants. I think the key is that you do it the right way, that you come here through the proper channels that everyone else has. And I'm not saying that everyone dating back the last 250 years of this republic always did it the right way. But at least in a time of modernity, when we actually have the ability to keep tabs on people coming in and out of here, maybe we should try implementing it. immigrants contribute quite a bit to our society.
They suck more out than they bring in.
That's not true at all.
If they're illegal, they do.
Well, I agree with you on that. They are a drag on the entitlement program for sure.
Social Security.
But if you are legal and you're an immigrant, there are a lot that legal immigrants bring to the table.
If you're a legal immigrant,
no, that's what I'm saying. I have been mispronouncing it, and we may have been.
I have no
been on different wavelengths here.
I have no problem at all.
No, because
legal immigrants.
As far as the medical community, a whole number of our industries, immigrants are crucial.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
To raising the bar.
I have no problem with legal immigrants as long as they're not Muslims.
Or attending Yale.
Yeah,
like I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, he's a special student over there.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was the one here. That made comments, I think it was the summer before September 11th. He was in a press conference and was talking to a female reporter that was wearing a veil. And he said something about something to the effect of, I don't know how your husband deals with you. I feel so sorry for him.
Wow.
Because, I guess he saw her as an uppity female. He's not used to that from the region he comes from, But yeah, he's I guess an honored student, or not honor student, but a special student, like adult student or something over at Yale. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Former member of the Taliban, now is an Ivy League school. How many Americans get passed up for slaughter over there?
What's his name from Iran, Ahmadinejad, coming over to Colombia, and
hugging up on Hugo Chavez,
and they're going to let him speak. But and that's okay, and we'll field the questions, I guess, so they don't want him to get too mad or be too offended. We're going to let him speak and talk about all these awful, terrible, anti-Semitic, anti-American things that he wants to bring to the plate, and we're going to let him say that here in America because we're better than they are. What a crock! What a crock! This is liberalism at its worst, people. Liberalism at its worst. Well, they won't allow, the school will not allow an ROTC program because the military stance on homosexuals, don't ask, don't tell. And they say, well, because the military feels that way about homosexuals, we're not going to have an ROTC program. However, we're going to let a man come over who believes the Holocaust is a lie, who adamantly proclaims that the Holocaust is a lie, and comes over here, wants to kill us. We're going to let him take the stand. We're not going to throw in him any hardball questions. We're going to make sure that we soften everything that we throw at him because we're going to have a moderator to read the question first. And you know what he does to homosexuals in his country, my friend? That's right. They kill them.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
I don't have a problem.
See how the liberal mind works, Chuck?
I really don't have a problem with letting him speak here in this country. I think discourse is always a great thing when it's unhindered and open.
What we should have done the minute he got off the plane, we should have picked him up in one of those little black cars.
I think this is what you're alluding to, actually, and I do think it's a security risk bringing him over here. The man was involved in the 1979 hostage taking during the Iranian Revolution. He is potentially, and I guess so could potentially his cohorts or people doing security for him. Who knows? Could potentially be security risks here in the United States, and they're given some extent of diplomatic immunity as foreign dignitaries.
Oh yeah.
In this country, that's I think what I have a problem with. Not so much the fact that institutions, universities are giving him the opportunity to speak. It's the fact that he's in the country when we're at war with people, and that this guy has a track record is a hostage taker.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you remember the reports of him wanting to go to the site of the World Trade Center.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
I'm surprised the liberals didn't let him. I mean, aren't you?
Well, Michael Bloomberg, fortunately, is still the mayor up there. He's an independent, and I don't think he would let that happen.
Can you imagine? I mean, honestly,
I can't imagine the protests that would happen.
Can you imagine the gloating that he would do afterwards?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The families of the people that died there on September 11th were barely allowed to come back there this last year because of the construction going on there right now.
Yeah, but they're going to let.
But yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is if they had allowed him to go over there when they had given the families, such a runaround, letting them come there for the 5th or 6th anniversary of it, and they let Ahmadinejad come there. But yeah, you're right. Luckily, they didn't they didn't allow him to show up.
Oh, I would move to Canada. No, I wouldn't. They're too socialist. I'd move to Australia.
Yeah, they're fairly conservative, but they took away all their handguns down there too back in the
Great.
90s. Yeah,
There's nowhere else to move.
They're hardcore.
I'm gonna have to buy my own.
They're hardcore socialists. Don't let their conservative social tendencies or foreign policy
be careful
fool
what you
you.
say about Australia, man. They carry us on the radio out there.
Well, not only that,
I like Australia.
Oh, they have some great rock acts they put out.
Oh yeah,
Australia.
Minxx, man.
Well, not only Minxx, but Midnight Oil was a great band. Hall & Oates, I believe, are Australian as well, and AC/DC.
I thought they were British.
No, they're actually Australian. Their
Really?
producer is British.
Okay, I learned something tonight.
Yes.
But regardless, I mean, it's just one of those things where to see him come over and do that, and you've heard the newest thing, right, about the nuclear capabilities of Iran.
Actually, the estimate I saw today said something like 2015 or something. It's pretty far off.
Yeah, they said that they had begun way back when experimenting on building these things years ago.
I honestly,
and then abandoned the project.
I think that the whole nuclear angle with Iran, with conservatives...
Did you just say nuclear?
Nuclear.
You
Yes,
did. You pulled a Bush. didn't you?
That's actually how I pronounce it. I
It's nuclear.
apologize.
He does it like George Bush does.
Yes, I do.
Nuclear.
But I think it's a
Gotta
red
smoke 'em
herring
out,
with conservatives because they are so far out as far as developing this. The real... I think danger in that region actually comes from Pakistan. With Musharraf's weak dictatorship over there, he's been having a lot of protests. He's got the country under martial law. He has I can't remember her name offhand, but the former president under house arrest on and off from day to day.
I can't remember. I know. Exactly
it starts with a
what
B. I'm losing it right now.
I know what situation.
But I think that's a much more dangerous situation because that's where you had AQ Khan. I mean, those people actually have working missiles. They actually have working warheads.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and Khan's behind all that. Well, what do you think about Vladimir Putin, basically in these new election, this new election strategy?
Well, it looks like he may be able to hold on to power here. And from what I understand, he will step down as president, but he will become prime minister. So it's a little like Hitler going from chancellor to Führer, I believe.
And not only that, then you've got Chavez, his buddy, down there doing the same thing in his country.
Well, they put it to a referendum, and he only lost by 1%,
Oh, he actually
which is
lost.
very
Okay.
very surprising that he just wouldn't have called it for himself with it being that close.
Yeah, well, okay. I didn't hear the latest then. The last I had heard, he was actually, going to try to make it to where he could be elected as many times for life.
Well, actually, you know what it was is it would have kept him in power, I guess, on paper, till 2050.
Wow.
Yeah, and apparently even the hardcore Chavez supporters couldn't come out and vote for that. Yeah.
Nah, sounds a little bit like communism meets the monarchy.
But yeah, you're right. There has become sort of
I want to pass it on to my son too.
Counterpart, a paradigm shift in geopolitics where you have this axis of
evil.
Well, I wouldn't say evil, but people with similar interests which are not in line with our own coming together. Putin, Ahmadinejad, the president of Bolivia, Hugo Chavez. I guess you could even throw Fidel Castro into the mix for that.
Oh, definitely. And throw in the guy from North Korea, too.
Oh, Kim Jong-il?
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I've heard is that apparently those peace talks with him are about to come to a standstill here next week. Those may be done. Yeah, they only decided to disclose 3 of their sites, their nuclear sites. That may be a no-go.
They're probably fake.
I don't know if they're fake. I think they're just ones that we've known about. That does us no good to bargain and to gain, essentially gain nothing in our negotiations.
I mean, the people don't want to live this way.
Well, no, I don't think they want to either. In fact, what is it? The average weight of a serviceman in the North Korean army is, I think, 90 pounds.
Yeah, probably right.
I mean, they're emaciated, starving.
They don't have electricity. And
No.
they worship this man. I don't know if you got a chance to catch this. I know I've mentioned it before, but the undercover investigation where they went through with cameras over there recently.
No, I hadn't seen it.
Man, you've got to check that out. I was on demand for a while on Time Warner. One of the channels. I don't remember which. I want to say it was 2020 that did it. But
Maybe I did see this actually, I thought it was former governor, or excuse me, not former governor, but Governor Bill Richardson who's running for the Democratic race. I thought it was a documentary on him going over there and meeting with him. But I think you're right. I think it was 60 Minutes or somebody that showed it.
It was a reporter.
And it's a very strange place. And
it was a reporter going with some kind of eye doctor over there that they did know, and he was doing all these like pro bono kind of cataract surgeries where he was fixing these people's eyes that couldn't see. And he did, I can't remember how many thousand he did in a 2-day period that he was there or whatever. But the people, when they were back to where they could, take the bandages off to see, they're like blessing Kim Jong-il and thanking Kim Jong-il.
Well, because it's a cult of personality.
I mean,
they've created a sort of political religion over there, more similar to the Third Reich than anything going on in the Middle East right now.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it was sick.
But no, I think a very, very poignant comment was made by Don Rumsfeld, who used to keep a NASA satellite photograph of Korea, both north and south, on his desk. And at night, you can see the entire southern Korea, the entire country lit up, with the industry and lights and everything. North Korea, it's just one tiny, tiny light. And that's Kim Jong-il's palace.
Like, yeah, boy.
that's all they can afford to light up at night.
You know what I call that? An easy target.
Now, come on, it's illegal to assassinate foreign heads of state.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's illegal by whose laws?
Yeah, I know, international laws.
We make international law. Chuck, we're America. We got the guns. When are people going to learn? We've got the big guns. We've got the big brass ones. The problem with America today is there are too many people that sit on their butt and they don't do anything. They don't care about America anymore. That's a problem. You don't have any patriots left.
Well, I mean, it depends on how tough the other country that wants to enforce the law is. I mean, when Israel went into, I believe it was Argentina, to get Eichmann, they did it within 48 hours and had him dead, I think, by the end of the week.
Well,
so don't go offending anyone that actually has any means to pull this off.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to come after America because of what I say on the radio.
They may come in the middle of the night, snatch you up, man.
Oh yeah, I'm worried.
Have you back in the stockade.
Yep.
In the gallows by the end of the week.
I'm shaking. All right, you're listening to World of the Unexplained. It's been a weird night tonight. We've only got 20 seconds left, so I'll make it brief. Check out thirdrailradio.com. And it's our show on Wednesday nights here from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the OmniSound Radio 1 network. This is Jay Scott, your only DJ on the OmniSound Radio 1 network.
And this is Chuck Browder dropping science at you at 64,000 kilobytes per second.
We out.